Thank you for joining me on U24 News Flash Hour. I'm Shamim Kiza. Lawmakers have supported the deployment of Uganda People's Defense Forces in South Sudan. As Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs, Honorable Jacob Oboth presented a motion for a resolution to Parliament to support the deployment of the UPDF in South Sudan. This was during the sitting of the House chaired by the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, on Thursday, 20th March 2025. However, Oboth said that the civil unrest erupted in South Sudan's Upper Nile state of the beginning of March in accordance with the Memorandum of Understanding on Defense Cooperation and State Forces Agreement. South Sudan President Salva Kiir requested President Yoweri Museveni for urgent military support in order to avert a potential security catastrophe in the South Sudan. Consequently, Museveni deployed the UPDF for peace enforcement mission, and his decision was based on the mandate given to him by the Constitution and the UPDF Act, as Oboth stated. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth hosted tech billionaire Elon Musk at the Pentagon in Arlington on Friday. Elon Musk's visit to the U.S. Defense Headquarters was followed by allegations that he had received a secret briefing on Washington's China war plans. However, Musk called the allegations pure propaganda and claimed that Pentagon officials were leaking malicious false information to the press that forced the U.S. President Donald Trump called the media reports of a China war plans briefing fake news, although he suggested that the plans did exist during a brief meeting from the White House.
Trump ally Elon Musk from the president's Department of Government Efficiency visiting the Pentagon today. The New York Times reported Musk was to be briefed on the, quote, U.S. military's plan for any war that might break out with China, according to two U.S. officials. President Trump slamming the story as false. When he was asked about the war plans,
I don't want to show it to anybody. You know, you're talking about a potential war with China. I don't want to show that to anybody, but certainly you wouldn't show it to a businessman who is helping us so much. Elon has businesses in China, and he would be susceptible perhaps to that. But it was such a fake story.
We welcomed him today to the Pentagon to talk about DOGE, to talk about efficiencies. There was no Chinese war plans. There was no secret plans.
Two defense officials told NBC News Musk, who has a security clearance, was expected to receive an unclassified briefing on China. Musk's business interests in China include this massive Tesla gigafactory in Shanghai, which produces nearly 1 million cars per year.
He's there for DOGE, not there for China. And if you ever mention China, I think you'd walk out of the room.
It comes as a federal judge held another hearing today demanding answers on those deportation flights of alleged gang members to El Salvador. The judge paused the flights Saturday, raising questions over the president's invocation of the 18th century Alien Enemies Act to justify them. The president was asked about family members who say some were not gang members.
Well, I was told that they went through a very strong vetting process, and that that will also be continuing in El Salvador. We don't want to make that kind of a mistake.
And venting frustration at the judge's order to pause the flights.
They're bad people. We don't want them in our country. We can't let a judge say that he wants them. You know, he didn't run for president. He didn't get much more than 80 million votes.
Pro-Palestine students marched to the George Washington University yard in Washington, D.C. on Saturday to protest the detention of Georgetown University researcher Bada Khan Suri and Colombian graduate Mahmoud Khalil. The disappearance of Mahmoud Khalil and the detainment of Bada Khan Suri at the Georgetown University are not the first desperate attempts to suffocate a revolt of the working-class masters, as claimed. Georgetown University postdoctoral fellow Bada Khan Suri was reportedly arrested outside his home in Northern Virginia and being accused of spreading Hamas propaganda, promoting anti-Semitism, and having close connections to a known suspected terrorist. Though lawyers to Suri denied the charges against him and demanded his immediate release. However, the federal judge claimed that this is being targeted because of his wife's Palestine identity and couple's support for the Palestine.
Education, not deportation!
He didn't commit.
Stay! Education, not deportation! Education, not deportation!
All he did was participate in protest against an unjust policy. KKK, Iowa, they're all the same. ICE, KKK. Homes and education. Homes and education. Over here.
Up with liberation! Up with liberation! Down, down with occupation!
any act of violence. He never advocated for violence. All he did was participate in protest against an unjust policy of the government. ICE, KKK, IOF, they're all the same. ICE, KKK, IOF, they're all the same. More and deportation. Ready for homes and education. Ready for homes and education. Over here.
And up with liberation. Up with liberation. Down with occupation. Down with occupation. Up with liberation. Up with liberation.
Fighting has intensified in Sudanese capital over the past days as Sudanese army claimed that its forces had taken control of the Republican Palace in Khartoum on Friday, following battles with the Rapid Support Forces. In a statement issued by the spokesperson, General Nabil Abdallah said the forces had crowned their success in the Khartoum front by crushing the remnants of the Al-Daglo militant terrorists in the central Khartoum, the Arab market area, and the buildings of the Republican Palace, the symbol of the Sudanese sovereignty, pride, and dignity, as well as the ministerial works. Sudan has been experiencing significant turmoil since fighting broke out between the army and the Rapid Support Forces in April 2023, with the reported deaths of more than 20,000 people and the injury of over 33,000 others. According to the latest statistics published by the United Nations in September 2024, it also noted that the actual death toll could be much higher than the number that has been registered.
Near the palace, asserting the battle is far from over. The capture of the building comes after months of steady advances for the army in the Khartoum area. The army insists this is just the beginning.
We are determined to continue our struggle and move forward in all battle axes until victory is complete. We will cleanse our entire country from the filth of the militia and its collaborators.
The RSF still controls parts of Khartoum, neighboring Omdurman, and regions in the western part of the country. Both sides have been accused of crimes against humanity in the conflict that has triggered the world's largest hunger crisis and displaced over 12 million people.
The Electoral Commission say that it is within the time frame to gazette the results of the Kawempe North Member of Parliament by-election that was won by the oppositional National Unity Platform candidate Elias Nalukola Luyimbazi. The by-election was conducted on March 13th, 2025, but to this day, Nalukola has not yet been sworn in as the next Member of Parliament for the Kawempe North. However, on Thursday, some opposition MPs, including the Chera municipality lawmaker Ibrahim Semoju Nganda, questioned Speaker of Parliament Anita Among why Nalukola has not been sworn in, yet in the previous by-elections won by the ruling National Resistance Movement candidates, the exercise to swear them in was swift, citing Mike Mawanda of Igara East constituency, who was sworn in within 24 hours after being declared the winner in the by-elections. In response, Speaker Among said she is yet to receive the copy of the gazette that permits her to declare Nalukola as the winner of the Kawempe by-elections.
The Kira Municipality Member of Parliament, Ibrahim Semoju Nganda, questioned why the House has not considered to swear in the newly elected Kawempe North MP, Elias Nalukola Luyimbazi.
Madam Speaker, as the head of this institution, can you get us to know when the Honorable Narukola will be sworn in. The Honorable Mawanda was sworn in 24 hours. He was here.
Honorable members, I wait for a gazette. When I get a gazette, that's when I swear in the member. So I'm waiting for a gazette. I need to hear from Electoral Commission before I do a gazette.
We are actually dismayed that up to now the Electoral Commission has not gazetted the person that won the Kawempe North by-election. We did follow up with the Electoral Commission, and they told us that they're still sorting out internal issues. We don't know what that means, because in the past, as we are saying, it's been done in record time, because the Electoral Commission is now funked as official.
We are increasingly getting dismayed by the conduct of the Electoral Commission in the affairs of Kawempe North by-elections. And we are disturbed that up to now, the results were declared. What is stopping the Electoral Commission from succeeding and doing its job? Then whoever is aggrieved, there is the legal redress in this country.
The House resumed business after a long recess with hopes that the usual practice of swearing in a new MP would take precedence. Semju's concern is derived from allegations of frustrating Nalukola's win after some players contested the results.
One Luimbazi Nalukola was assaulted. Our supporters were brutalized. Several leaders were brutalized, including on election day. In fact, Honorable Speaker, some of your members here were badly brutalized, still nursing injuries. Journalists were not spared either. They were badly beaten. Others were abducted. Can we know who commandeered this? Who commandeered the brutalizing of leaders, citizens, a candidate in a race?
To bring a motion, Madam Speaker, inviting this parliament to condemn first the brutality against the media. They go to members to go, because the Parliamentary Elections Act doesn't allow even to carry a gun, a simple gun at a polling station. Even
the Minister of State for Trade, David Bahati, responded to the queries, informing the House on the guidance of the head of state on the said matters. This caused back-to-back reactions.
On the issues that he has raised, His Excellency the President issued a statement regarding the situation in Kawempe, and I'm not adding a word to that.
To hide behind the President's statement as if the President has taken over the Constitution. It shouldn't have stopped the Electoral Commission from exercising its constitutional mandate by declaring and indeed gazetting a successful candidate.
Statement here, so that as Parliament we know, we were raising these issues here in Parliament. It's important that the country gets to know what was said, what action is being taken. Please don't refer us to social media, to I don't know where. We are here as colleagues. Please lay on.
Thank you for watching U24. I'm Shamim Kiza.